So welcome to this gathering of what I'm calling women taking action, you know, and in relationship to what is going on in our worlds, in our governments, even beyond what's going on in our life, but what's going on in the bigger picture. Certainly all those same kind of ideas can be applied to our personal life, but this is more, what can we do on the bigger stage that we call governments and worlds? So welcome to this conversation. And the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to set the space, gather up all the good clearing and blessings that you've already brought while we sat in silence. And so I'm going to do that next. So here we go. So as we gather in the space of sacred sovereignty, we here in the circle affirm our connections and right of connection to those individuals, beings, family members, higher beings of ourselves off planet. That we know that we are here as representatives of them and their support, and therefore supported, guided, and blessed by them. And we appreciate their presence in our life, especially at this time. We ask that the cords of connections be secured. All that comes through is from our divine home, our star families, our guides and teachers of highest good, all that we have vetted and have been vetted for us in that intention. We're grateful to Gaia for allowing us to be on her surface, playing out this drama of contamination to end contamination. And we reaffirm our commitment to her, to stand with her as we help restore her also to her grandeur. A commitment that we will not renege on. We're grateful for all that Gaia brings to this work and to our life. The beauty, the elements, the directions, the intentions, the richness. Again, we affirm that we stand on the sacred ground of sovereignty. That our voice within a physical bodysuit is the voice of a soul from the start, with a purpose, a mission, with authority, not held and not activated for so many generations. We are here differently. So we gather at this moment in time in what we call March 29th, 2025, being very, very aware of forms in our lives, in the lives of our families, our communities, our worlds, our governments that are destructive and are not of our families of light. And we are here gathered to discuss what it is that we each might bring to the ending of those energies. It is in the ending of those energies that will allow the good that we are as star beings to emerge in creations beyond imagination for good, for all life. So we gather, we are excited for the opportunity. With that, our intention and our circle is set for our conversation, discussion. We move the platform into that fourth world beyond contamination, not to distance ourselves as if it didn't exist, but to have that clearer insight, teams working to eliminate the contamination. So with that, allow yourself to sense the presence of the sisters in this circle. And sense their heart holding stories of good. And beyond this circle, there are circles to whom you are connected who have the same heart. And imagine those circles radiating, radiating, radiating. And we bring all that into this circle as we bring the work and the energy this circle will create out into the resonance for all humanity. With that, our circle is set. Bring that energy of connection that you feel into the circle. When you're ready, open your eyes if you've closed them and be here with us. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to have you each place yourself in the circle. You are a light. And wherever your presence, your physical body and your soul presence, you are a light. And I want to have that whole map of the world. Here's all the various lights. So where are you? And what is the quality that you would like to see as outcome from our work today? So we're going to tag around. I'll begin, and we'll see where we all stand. So Sharon Raji Maynard, I'm here in Oak Harbor, Whidbey Island, Washington, and the quality I would like as an end result of our work today and moving forward is unity of the divine. More than one word, you can do more than one word too. And then I'll tag someone and then we'll just go around that way. So I tag Margie.
Thank you, Sharon. Hi, everyone. I'm Margie Lystra. I'm here in Sandy, Utah, which is part of the Greater Salt Lake Valley. And what I would like to add to the circle today is transformation. And I'm going to tag Alicia.
Thank you, Margie. Sorry I was late. I was having technical difficulties. So I think, I'm in Gilbert, Arizona. And I think for today, I would like to bring in a greater understanding of what needs to be accomplished. And with that, I will pass it to Maria.
Thank you, Alicia. I knew you were going to tag me. So, Maria Anna Słomkowska, and I'm sitting in Warsaw, Poland. And the quality I would like to bring in is innocence. And I would love to tag Karen.
Okay. Hi, I'm Karen. Thank you, Maria. I am in Everett, Washington, the United States, not very far from where Sharon is physically. And the word I would like to bring today is opportunity. And I would like to tag Carol.
Thank you, Karen. We're neighbors. I'm in Coopville, Washington. So
cool.
The quality I would like to bring is conscience This is not consciousness, it's conscience. And it means discernment with compassion, knowing the right thing at the right time. And I will tag my old friend Marilyn.
Thank you. My name is Marilyn Nyborg, and I said I was nice to see you again, Carol. I live in the foothills of the Sierra Mountains in Grass Valley, California. This is what just came down at when the question was, it's not what I would normally have thought about, but it said awakening into the conscious mind of the Christ. I thought that would encompass it all.
Who would you like to tag, Marilyn?
Oh, I'm sorry. Just falling asleep here. Let's see. I've got to find out. I don't know everybody. Oh, I know Janet. So Janet, you're on.
I'm Dr. Janet Smith Warfield. I'm currently in Sarasota, Florida. And I hope this is not shocking, but something I would like to bring in today. I'm going to use two sets of words. One is spiritual warriorship.
Mm.
And the other is moral outrage. Oh, and I've got to, let's see, who hasn't spoken because
There's Tara and Leon.
Okay, Tara.
Thank you. I'm Tara. I'm in Anthem, Arizona, and I would like to bring in enlightenment and wholeness. And I call on Arlie.
Hi, I'm Arlie. I'm in New Zealand. I would like to bring in the qualities of wisdom and clarity, but I also thought we were supposed to express what it is we would like to get out of today. And I would like impactful, sustainable practices to eliminate all parasitic energies once and for all. And instant healing, Sharon. I want that. And I will pick Tara.
I picked you, so we'll pick me in.
I'm Lien Henriksen from Copenhagen, Denmark. And the quality I still would like to bring to this circle is kindness. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think we've got them all. So we have qualities, and let's say these qualities bring an outcome. Okay. Wisdom and clarity, enlightenment and wholeness, moral outrage, awakening into the consciousness of Christ, conscious opportunity, unity of the divine, transformation, and greater understanding of what needs to be accomplished. And I think I've got spiritual warriorship that I don't think I mentioned that. That was a good one too. And our goal, I'll just say the goal is that we have some practical practices, some impactful practices that can eliminate dominating energies once and for all, along with the little caveat of instant healing. Why not?
For the earth. Getting rid of the parasitic energies is
That'll work.
Humanity and way beyond. Why be
Yes.
just Earth or even humanity everywhere? Small goal, but you know what? That's how you do big stuff. is you go beyond the box that says this is where you have to stay. So we're just calling for those qualities from within us, from within the field of our divine nature. These are small amounts of the qualities that we are as star beings, and we are star beings. We are souls in a physical body. I think we all have some concept of that. That's how we function in this circle today, that we are way beyond our physical body, called souls or star beings, and our physical bodysuit is critical for being on the planet. We do the work that needs to be done by having our feet on the ground as we are bringing in spiritual understanding and law, not disconnecting. So the divine field of good is like that I've been shown. It's like, I call it a field where it's really more like a temple structure that was put into place about 3 years ago. And I was made aware of it, participated in it, in that other world that I remember a little about. But when I came back, it was like, whoa, there are beings and teams ready to dissolve what seems impossible. And in dissolving what seems impossible, doors can open that weren't even there before. And that's what we will be functioning from as we share today. So I'm going to, right off the bat, put you in little small groups, 2 or 3 to a group, because you all have, I'm sure, a sense of what it is that you would like, what you're seeing in the world that's really angsting to you, or that you are would like to see happen because of what you're seeing in the world. So any kind of discussion to just be able to say and be heard. It's not about, okay, let's fix the problem in these little groups. No, it's very important that you be heard in what you are seeing and what you are sensing. And the field that we have created here is highly intelligent, way beyond AI, I might add, but functions a lot like AI, but even more. That field of intelligent beings is there to hear you in your groups. Being in the physical bodysuit with all the sensories that the body gives you, sight, sound, feel, smell, taste, etc., those are important, and we're there not just so you can go have a really great meal, although that's fun, and not just so that you can look out and see the amazing Mother Nature, although that's great. Those sensory things in the bodysuits were so that you could taste energy made formed. Okay? So you're seeing stuff out there, you're sensing things out there. It might be you feel something's off, or you might see this is really crazy. Whatever it is, this is the time for you to just speak it into the field. It looks like we have 2 in each room. So, get a couple of minutes each. So you'll be in the space together for about 5 minutes. And what I'll do, I'll send a message into the room when you have 2 minutes left. So you make sure that the second person has had a time to speak. I think all of you are really good about timing your speaking, etc. But I will send a message into the room when you have 2 minutes left, which then when you have 1 minute left, we'll send another message into the room. You have 1 minute left. Keep talking until the room closes. Don't push any buttons. Otherwise, you'll get pushed out of the room. Any questions? Okay, in whatever way you want to share, this is your time to speak and let spirit hear you. Here you go, and I'll see you in about 5. Okay, so what I'd like to hear from you is A, what was that like for you? What was it like just being in that kind of conversation? So a word, and we're going to go around, and this is what we're going to go around in this order. Marilyn, Karen, Carol, Tara, Margie, Janet, Alicia, Maria, Lynn, and Arlie. You'll see that's exactly how you are on the screen. So a word, what was that like for you? And then the second thing in the chat, what one or two concerns do you want to put in the chat so we capture it also in that way? So two things. Takeaway from you, what was that like? And then what in the chat do you want to have captured as concerns? So Marilyn, you're on. What was the takeaway for you?
Well, it was very interesting because Karen seemed to remember me from the past and was pleased to be connected. And so I got to learn more of where she is, and where she is I would say filled with wisdom and lots to teach and say, and not knowing quite where to go and how to become an activist. So in a very quick moment, I had to recommend my book, A Woman's Guide to Sacred Activism. I suggested that would be a great starting point.
Perfect.
Okay.
You're on, Karen.
I'm on, Karen. Okay, my computer jams up some. If I freeze, I'll come back. I was delighted to be with Marilyn, and the word a takeaway I'd bring back is alignment. Her work in life is very similar to my work in life, and I was just tickled to find that.
Perfect.
I'm curious about what am I going to do? What are we going to do with it?
Yep, she predicted that, didn't she? For sure. And that's I know where she's going with it. So Carol, go ahead, and because we'll come back to Karen when she's unfrozen.
Marilyn's trying to say something.
Right. But you have to unmute, Marilyn.
I'm sorry, I'm going to be in the kitchen for a moment, but I'm going to hear all of you, so you won't see me quite close.
Perfect.
Thanks, Karen.
So
Carolyn, should we let her finish, Carol? We were just going to move on because we didn't hear the last part of where do we go kind of thing, Karen.
Unmute. Okay. Where I would like to go is more as a plan for dealing with the fear that everybody is feeling. That's where I'd like to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
All right, I was with Maria, which was lovely, and I think we both shared the idea that there are a lot of positive things out there that need reinforcement. And particularly what I got from Maria was, let's work on the joy part and the virtues that we can enforce. It doesn't have to be grim. So, thank you, Maria.
It was with Margie, and it was wonderful. It was informative, and I think we both had some very valid knowledge and observations as to what we are seeing going on that need attention. And we're just a little confused as to why it is so bad, but we understand why some of the changes and things are happening around us. But there's too much negativity while those things are changing. We know that things have to change in order to rebuild, but it just seems to be torturous when it doesn't need to be. So
thanks, Tara.
I was with Tara, as she just said. I think one of the things that was enlightening to me that Tara brought up was about the effects, some very specific effects on individuals, and how the energy of manipulation is affecting people. And especially those who are still stuck in old patterns of unhealed past trauma, and how it taps into the energy that the non-light beings use, which is, fears and anxiety and chaos, and how it creates such a fog for people. And of course, the need for us to be able to dispel those kind of things that are affecting very specific individuals.
Thanks, you, Margie.
I guess I'm next, or do you want to call on me formally?
Nope, I'm just gonna let you guys roll through.
I was with Arlie, and Arlie had a couple of distractions because I think it was her grandson who was there. Her husband was trying to deal with stuff and couldn't figure it out. But I mean, I thought we were very aligned in our own conversation. So that was my takeaway just from the dynamic that was going on between us and around Arlie at the time, which she also had to deal with in the background. My concerns, I don't have any right now. I am, I know who I am. I know what I'm here to do, and I'm very present in each moment and very aware of what's going on around me and inside of me. And the actions I take change dramatically depending on the needs around me and the needs within me. So actually, I don't even think it's a concern. I wouldn't frame it that way. And Arlie, let me just mention, after we got through the grandson issue, and then she said to me, would you like to start? I'd already said to her, would you like to start? And she is focused as targets. I think that was the word she used, on Stephen Miller, Musk, Trump, and artificial intelligence. There was so much alignment between us because I'm just sitting there shaking my head the whole time she's talking. So let me see. I pass it on to Alicia. And is that the way we're doing this?
You got it, Janet.
Okay.
Thank you, Janet. So I was with Leanne, and she very graciously gave me the space to express how I'm feeling about our political climate here. And I realized that I had actually never had a conversation about that without getting really worked up and like just feeling all of anger, just straight up anger, and just frustration, and just whatever word you can think of, it's there. Like, because, and then, sorry, it's just, it's just so much. And I'm trying to not do that. Like I've never been into politics. I don't really pay attention because it's all a bunch of hoo-ha anyway. And but it's escalated to such a level of absurdity that now we all have to pay attention, right? Which is the point. So I was telling Leanne that I'm trying to just focus right now on myself and, my bubble, but also I'm feeling the frustration and the fear and the confusion and the uncertainty of the collective of the society. And I want to help allay those fears and alleviate the stress that people have about this. And she even mentioned that, even all the way in Denmark, they're feeling some effects of that. And when she started talking about how she's just focusing on her and her family and whatnot, that helped to validate, I think, how I feel about it. But also, I question, is that me just putting my head in the sand and hoping it's all going to go away? Or do I need to be doing more or something different? Or is it, if I truly believe that this is temporary and it's not, it's not going to come to a revolution, because that word gets thrown around a lot around here, and so is that enough? Is that enough to just believe it? I mean, it's a lot. And so really, I think for myself, what I want out of this is to understand my place and what I need to be doing. Like, do I stay the course or do I need to add more things? So it's a lot to contemplate, I think. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisha.
Thank you. So I was with Carol, as Carol already mentioned. It was great because we both had time to share and yeah, to share. And what I'm doing, what I've been doing actually for quite a while now, but it seems to organically evolve. I'm working with women. I'm holding space for in few circles here, and in a sense, the quality that I brought in today, and I've been bringing this and joy, and recently in class with you, Sharon, as well, is something that I realized in my life, that I see it as the blueprint of all that is alive, that it is the pulsation of life, that it is blood in my human bodysuit. And it leaked out from a lot of people, and not only from people, it leaked actually out from on a lot of levels. When you look at the food we eat, the relationship we have, and of course the politics, the government, there is definitely no joy, innocence or purity or pleasure there. So my focus is, as I need it for my health and I need it for my well-being, and to be able to create in life. And I found out that this is my star family, so it all makes complete sense to me. All the dots are linked, and that this is something to feed back, and it's something I'm really doing, and at the same time trying to understand what other ways or tools or means I can use or develop to help women, because I mostly work with women. But I hear that voice on the back of my head saying, don't forget about men, because they're also waiting, to help them reconnect to that quality, to grow it, so we do create forward and are able to dream forward from those qualities, from everything that is all good: love, purity, joy, innocence, etc. Because I mean, if we are the creators and our thoughts and emotions are what we create forward, because this is what we dream from, well, I believe these qualities really, really, really need to come forward, so we can dream that beautiful world into being. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Your turn, Leanne.
I really don't quite know what to say. As I said to Alicia, I there's so many American women that are so upset at the moment. And of course, I read about them to the grandmothers group. But fortunately for me, the grandmothers that are in my own circle are actually not upset about anything, which is
That's good. That's good.
which I really enjoy, because as I told Alicia, because my basic principle that I live under now is that I accept, I create, I accept, I hold the golden keys of my heaven on earth. I accept that I create my reality by the power of my words. So if I really keep on continuing to think these negative things, I really don't, I know I will create chaos around me. And one of the things that I do is I really enjoy these shows called America Has Talent and Europe Has Talent. And you really, I mean, when you see these young people believing in the world and believing what they want to do for the world, this is what I really enjoy, rather than hear about, I hope both Trump and Vance is just doing it to create, actually make us more aware of many of the things that are going on. Because what is going on in America and the world has been going on for thousands and thousands of years, this corruption. So I really don't know what is but I really, personally, this is how I feel. I like not to be involved in too much of the negativity myself. So this is all I really need to say, because I'm here only because I really believe I like the way Sharon is teaching about making us aware of this dominating energy as a force, as an energy field, rather than a person. And I continue to want to work and know Sharon's way of doing things. I've been reading your book, and I'm still very, very. But the more I'm with you, and the more I am present in such a circle, the more I can understand your book. But it is actually not easy to understand what's going on in your book. But I like the way you want us to be aware of this force of domination as a field rather than just as a person, because we all have that around us. You just have to be. Thank you.
And
I am
welcome, Laura. Laura, we're just kind of talking about what's up for us and you're after Arlie. Whatever it is you want to share, you're right after Arlie. Okay, Laura? Okay, Arlie, you're on.
If
Okay,
Laura is off there, she's muted.
I was with Dr. Janet, and Dr. Janet shared a story about her stolen parking place in a Walmart parking lot, and how it all turned for the good because of another woman who stepped in and gave her an even better parking spot. And the tie it up with a bow was women's empowerment, women working together, how affirming that is, how I would say heart-swellingly affirming that is. For my part, I am an activist. I am perfectly willing to get in there and slop around in the hardcore nitty gritty of what I see that is wrong, and work in the woo-woo world to change it. That's very definitely me. And what I shared was that there's a movement that Sharon can talk more about for taking over AI. The Russians have put 3 million articles in, and we have a chance to work with AI to make huge changes in the world. And I also talked about the energies that I see in some of our leaders and leadership positions, what I think about those particular energies, and what I presently see as the tools I have to attack, neutralize, attack being one of those words that people shy away from, to attack, neutralize, change, remove the parasitic energy from those particular beings, whole souls on this planet. So that's what we talked about, and that's where we went. And I am complete.
Thanks, Arlie. Laura, what would you like to bring to the circle? What's going on for you?
Laura's muted if she's there.
Yeah, I see that.
I'm here. I'm just doing physical therapy exercises. Sorry.
Thank you, Tara. Yeah, that's okay. And Laura, are you there? And I just pushed your unmute button, but you'll have to do it on your end. And you're welcome to listen in. So what I see from this conversation is what I see pretty regularly out in the world, that there's a level of awareness, there's a level of concern, there's a level of various actions and non-actions, and some curiosity and some confusion. I mean, it's all kind of there. It's all, here we are together. And what I think the takeaway for me is that there's a common desire for outcome, and the desire for outcome is what it will bring good and benefit for all life forms. And that's a pretty big ask. And is it even possible, or is it not possible? So what I'm going to do, because we're going to be together for about another hour, I'm going to have you take a 5-minute stretch break, and maybe potty break if you need to. I don't think you'll be able to walk your dog, but who knows? And we'll come back. Well, actually, it's 4 minutes, and we'll come back at top of the hour. And I'm going to go over a platform some of you know, some of you don't, and give you some ideas maybe you have in your or don't have, and let's see what we can move through. So
Can I say something real quick before we move out?
What would you like me to say?
I want to say something.
Oh, you want to say something? Okay.
The lady from Denmark, is there Leon? I don't know how to pronounce it. Oh, I want to tell you, you spoke my heart, and I love you. I've just so resonated with her. I had to say it. Thank you.
I'm glad you did. That's why we're in the community. Okay. Top of the hour.
Okay.
For reminding me. The platform that I've been working on for years is still the same platform I am going to share here with you, given what's going on in our world, in our lives, in our country, and the fact that it's been going on for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, as was mentioned. So a quick overview. So here we go. We have had this concept that all there is love. And love is stronger than fear. And light is stronger than dark. And all we have to do is stay not focused on dark negativity, but focused on love. And that's all we have to do. Now, when I started understanding energy work in '89, I had been working with teachers in the spirit since '71, all about raising a family. It wasn't until '89, well, 83, '84, I guess, I started understanding what would be called spiritual work and energy work. And in 89, more spiritual direct energy work, chakra system, etc. And it was out there in 89 and been there for a lot of years before that all there is love. Light is stronger than dark. Just don't focus on fear. Don't feed the wolf fear. And what I saw, it wasn't working. It didn't make the dark go away. It didn't make the dips go away. And so I asked my team that I'd worked with for that 14 years, what's missing? I mean, I want to do the work that's more permanent than what I see going on. Where can I go to learn it? And they said the information for that isn't on the planet. If you want to do that kind of work that stops the cycling in pain, then we're going to have to teach you what is missing. So this is a reflection of what I was shown. Here we are, home, source, some call it isness. It's all good. Our vibration, that vibrational of who we are, those dots of beings, light souls in that arena way out in Laniakea is all good. And that's the only place it exists. Because as we came together in groups, what I call divine families, and extended from that home into a world or a region, like birthing the baby, the umbilical cord of energy is still there, feeding us. We were pretty good until our light, our creativity, our genius, our magnificence attracted other families out there who had intentionally programmed the energy from home, put chips, if you will, coded chips in that little flow from home right there, intended to make it possible for them to use other people's energy, to make it possible for them to be parasitic, to make it possible for them to choose domination. They inserted a chip in their flow from home. And so here they are out needing more hosts because hosts of parasitics die. They suck their hosts dry. So they were always looking for these lovely divine families that had all good, all light, all love, all joy, etc. And things happened. And these particular 7 families that are now on the earth as a collective opened the door and said, oh, we're new on the block. You know more than we do. Sure, come on in and let you teach us. And as soon as those dominating energies that were a collective of what had originally been a divine family of light intentionally created programs so they could be dominating and parasitic, as soon as they came into a family, they immediately started to enslave, devise, use violence, whatever they needed to capture the energy, to siphon it off for their own family, because they were parasitic by nature. So this did not happen when you were born. It did not happen when your grandfathers were born. It did not happen on the earth at all. And yet it exists. Entrapment, enslavement, domination, abuse, voyeurism, pedophilia, all of those energy forms that we see down here on what we call Earth, right here. This is Earth. They all began up in these worlds. And so in 89, that information wasn't even on the planet. So all we could do in our Earth experience, these 8 vibrations of Earth, was, try to survive. Because we had lost the history and the mission of these outsiders. And we're down here totally trapped in the energy that they have and bring and amplify. And here we are down on the planet trying to stay whole, to stay balanced, to stay in love, when the cause of that is way up here and it has been blocked from our memory. So we've been told there's heaven of all good, and then there's down here home. And if you were just good enough, if you just remembered enough, if you just obeyed, if you just learned your lesson, you never have to come back to the planet and you could be la-di-da happy. And it's a BS. It's BS. It's not the truth. So you've got to know what platform we are on. We are playing on the platform designed by outsider dominators, take advantage of, parasitic usury, lie and deceit. We are playing on their game board, and we have been playing on their game board. On the planet, it began 300,000 years ago. They anchored it 300,000 years ago here with a Cro-Magnon bodysuit, but it had been going on in the galactic worlds. So what we are seeing in the world today, and what you've been seeing in your own life, in your family's life, in your community's life, but we're seeing it hugely in the United States government, for gosh sake. We've been seeing it in the United States government hugely since January. I mean, we've been seeing hints of it and thought, oh no, it wouldn't possibly happen. It's happening, and it's not new. It is not new. So, okay, that's it. We are on a game board that we have not been told about. We've been told we're playing chess, divine. And we're over here in Monopoly fighting it out, trying to know who's going to take our money next. So know that. Know that. So with that in mind, I call that energy field, and it's a field of energy that is a collective field. You are a star being from a collective field called divine family. And you happen to be one of those dots of consciousness in a bodysuit, so you look individual. Okay. Those dominators don't necessarily go into a body. Some of them are in bodies, but that's not how they function. They function manipulating behind the scenes with energy through thought, through exactly what we know works. The law of manifestation. Insert a concept, and it becomes real. Where does the concept often come in a person's mind? And here I have a thought, and then I have an emotion, and I don't even know that it's mine, but it's going through my bodysuit, and there it shows up in the world. They know, those intelligent beings know how to use and have used the universal laws for their purposes. It would be called black magic if we wanted to put a name to it. They've used it much more effectively because we humanity, star beings, have been told that spiritual work is la-di-da, hallucination. Don't pay attention to it. Spiritual soul, you have a soul? No, you don't. All there is this world that you can take, taste, touch, feel. And we have been cut off from so many things, but majorly we've been cut off from our spiritual reason for being here and our family. And that began 300,000 years ago. In my experience, and I'm only speaking from my experience, all of those truths that make sense about why we were in this, why we are on this planet, why we see the shit out there, all of that has only been re-anchored, remembered, reactivated. It began a little bit in 2000, but the real kicker came in about 2017. Up until then, you have been powerless. You would have had to survive to get through because you couldn't break it. things have changed. So I'm going to tell you again, this is not new information for most of us, but it's important that we know where we are, why we're here, so we can make choices about what it is we would want to do. When star beings came into bodysuits, and we needed an earth suit to walk around the planet, we have a suit we call male and we have a suit we call female. The male bodysuit, soul in the male bodysuit, has a specific purpose, and it's to nurture. It is to let energy from all that is flow through the sun and come out through the heart to feel the home or the community or the village, so that there's a lot of energy that can be manifested with all possibility. The male bodysuit was to be the nurturing form that would also keep the outsiders distracted. I call them outsiders distracted. While the soul choosing to come into a female bodysuit was not even seen by the outsiders, because she was invisible to them, and being invisible to them, she had authority because they did not own her or the bodysuit. And that is really key. So the soul in a female body coming into the bodysuit, opening her crown chakra to bring in energy of all possibilities, which was to be our resource, down through the midline of the body into the feet to say to Gaia, "Hi, Gaia, I'm here, let's partner." We were to partner with Gaia. We were to protect and safeguard Gaia. That was one of our jobs as females. Da-da. And then rooted into Gaia with talking to our sisters in the villages we were in, building sister circles, critically important to women, sister circles. Now, once we have that sense of Gaia partnership, we have sense of sister circles that are excited for us, joyful for us, encouraging each other. Then we were to come to the base chakra and look out, what do we think we need in order to be on this planet? Because this was a new way of being for us. So the sisters, the women, the one in female bodies, would see the wants and needs to accomplish survival, thriving, resources, policy to work together well. They were the leaders who did all of that, and then created a blueprint so that their community could manifest. And so they birthed the community through their womb, through the law of manifestation. The women in our original clans birthed their world through the womb center, the law of manifestation. So here they have the lush garden. And once the lush garden was in place, now they knew what that forms tasted like that was coming from their word. They knew what it tasted like, it felt like. They could modify it. They talked about it. Now that's in place. So now they needed the knowledge of that which was contaminating or outsider. They needed to be able to see, what does an outsider energy feel, see, sense, taste like when it's in a form on the planet. And so the knowledge of, this is the fruit coming from word of good, this is the fruit coming from word of destruction or evil or take away life, was a woman's job to discern. And in that discernment, they had the authority voice to say, like, what do I want in my village? And they could put the staff in the ground. This is my village. This is my body. This is my food. This is mine. Staff in the ground. I own it because I was given stewardship over it. And I put my sword, the warrior, into the sky, into my family beyond earth, who knew how to identify, unplug, neutralize those energies of outsiders. The voice of authority was the warrior voice of a female, not to fight, but to call in the immense help of our divine family collective to say, I'm calling you in because I sense something's off and I will not have it in my village. I won't have even a twiggly taste of it in my village. And she would hold that decree, that connection, until that outside energy was identified by the team from beyond, the energy itself neutralized, marked, unplugged, brought into a contained space, and not moved somewhere else on the planet. No, moved out into Laniakea, totally out, cleaning the galactic worlds as it went. Cleaning the galactic worlds as it went. So here, down here, we, in our physical dimensions, is where we see sight, sound, smell, right here in 1, 2, 3. We identify it there because it has traveled and manifested right down here. But when we call in teams under the plan, you say, hey, there's something's off, and it looks like craziness in the government. And you call in that with as a warrior, a Sophia warrior, move it out. It cannot stay here because I have the authority to make that decree. Those teams identify it here, and they have unraveled it right back to where it came from. That's your work. You did not have that authority voice. Women didn't, in my experience. I have not found it yet. Women have not had that authority restored to them until 2011. I mean, that's in my experience. I haven't seen it in anywhere else. I've reached out to others who know about outsiders, reptilians, skinwalkers, devil, and they don't know. All they have done to keep everyone safe is to do more dancing, make sure the community is happy, which is good. Stay focused, don't be distracted, which is good, but it doesn't get rid of the outsider energy. Leon?
It helped me tremendously, Sharon, when you I don't know who asked the question, but in one of our lessons, that what you talked about actually only was actually happening in the first world. It helped me a lot to know that. And then you said what actually so you mentioned this 300,000 years ago. When was this 300,000 years ago? Did it come on the 7th world, or is it the 6th world? When did this thing, when we started to come in these different body suits? When, in what world was it? You mentioned 300,000 years ago, but when in terms of these 8th world, when did it actually happen? Number one. And then the other thing you mentioned also, that this men in bodies, I mean souls in women body suits and souls in men body suits, when it was never intention to make babies. but we all came from a mother and father. When did it actually happen?
Good question, Leanne. And right here where you on this, see the seventh world, we were dying. We were dying. You see, we were dying. The host had already sucked us almost dry. And that's when these 7 families kind of got together and said, maybe we'll have enough strength if we come together to save each other. Then they come up with a plan to use the law of what we call the law of manifestation on a world, on a planet that could handle density. And that is when we connected to Gaia. So we connected to Gaia just through this at the 7th world. And Gaia, we came on to Gaia, what I've been told, we came on to Gaia in bodysuits by landing here 600,000 years ago, 600,000 years ago. And so doing all that work that I talked about, those bodysuits filling energy, extra energy going into Gaia, the females making lush gardens, getting ready to do their work. And about 300,000 years ago is when the outsiders discovered the female body, and that the female body was not owned. 300,000 years ago, Cro-Magnon. And they crippled our wiring. So our automatic unfoldment into what I just told you we were to do got crippled. So we landed on the planet right here. That began Earth, the 8th world. So I'm going to go down to this is the 8th world. So this happened 600,000 years ago. Right here, we landed onto the planet. We landed onto the planet and walked into bodysuits. The bodysuits from a blueprint that we had designed as star beings and used the elements of Gaia to form. That's why the bodysuit is formed of Gaia's elements. We did not birth onto the planet, we landed. And that's what we intended to do, to land onto the planet, to clean up the energy of domination, get rid of it totally. The energy, the chips, the agendas, get rid of it totally. We had the authority to do that. And that got discovered 300,000 years ago. Cro-Magnon bodysuit was a crippled. 250,000 years ago with a Homo sapien body was even more crippled. And we have been crippled from that point on, and the information of that we were even here to identify what was formed of good and what was formed of outsider was kept from us. That is all been restored. And in the last 20 years, women like you, beginning to understand this platform, have cleared and worked intensely so that all of these worlds are now clear. There is no more hitches in these worlds. This energy is coming down to us as of 2 weeks ago, truly, fully formed as a divine family collective without all of the corruptions in it. That alone is going to cause disruptions when it hits this earth plane, because here you have this light that we've always known is now here, and it's going to bump up against whatever corrupted negative entrapment is here, and there's going to be some sparks flying. But you, as a female, in a soul in a female body, are the warrior that you can, in any place you are at, say, this is I'm owning this. I'm owning my government, for example. I'm owning my government. My government is one of generosity, reflection of our divine good. It has, they're working together to create the good for all. And I'm claiming it and I'm putting it in the ground as a Sophia. Now, whatever declaration you would do that. soared into the sky. Okay, team, I am now connected to you by right of authority. I have the voice of authority with you. Anything contrary to what I've declared, deep six and remove it back to extinction. Remove it totally back to extinction. That is the space we are now in. We have never been in it before like we are now. 2 weeks ago, that restoration of the divine families in their totality happened. A week ago, a major clearing of the masculine entrapment, because the masculine entrapment is necessary. And remember, the male is the nurturer, has your back, helps with resources. And the female is the voice of authority to design, not that there's not communication, but it's her right to do what's the blueprint for this country? What's the blueprint for my career? What's the blueprint for my life? I'm writing the blueprint. I'm holding it, and there's processes. You have some, I have some. I'm claiming that for my life. And I have my eyes open. I have my sensory system open. Anything contrary or trying to impact that adversely, even if it's just a possibility, I don't know why, but I feel kind of twiggly inside and it doesn't feel good. Sword in the sky. And the group I work with extensively is a collective, PTO collective. Deep six, that energy field that looks like, we'll say Trump, or it looks like my shoulder hurts. You see, your authority is not, our authority is not expecting our elected officials to do it. Do they have part of the whole process? Yes. Is it important political be addressed? Yes. But your authority is to those in the sky to which you've made conscious connections. Whatever it is that I'm sensing that is keeping my joy from me, deep six it. Whatever it is that I'm seeing as a fear in my neighborhood, PTO, deep six it. Now, in a healing model, if you're dealing in your health with a painful shoulder, that's a little bit different than if you're dealing with breast cancer. You'd agree? The degree of intensity. If you are dealing with something like cancer, there is a timeline. The body can only hold on so long with cancer. You want to be able to make changes as quickly as you possibly can. And so with shoulder, you can play around for a little bit because, it might take you 2 or 3 years, but it'll get done. But if you have cancer or you have something intense, you want to use what I call an integrated model. And an integrated model says you must use tools for each of those regions. And I'm going to go down here. So what do you have that's going to impact the physical body? Well, I'm going to change my diet. I'm going to walk more. What do you have for your mental dimension? I'm going to look at my mind, at my storylines. What stories do I have that says maybe I want to get out of here because life's too tough? What are the emotional dimensions? What emotional stories are you carrying? What in the spiritual dimensions? Who in my body or in my energy field knows what cancer is telling me? Do you have tools like that? And is there anything in those galactic worlds that is causing it? If you're dealing with something like cancer, you want to use every one of those tools. You want to use the tools and use the tools and use the tools. We are dealing with cancer in our world. And so, with that in mind, when you have a group like we have today, awake women, committed women, and we have a same goal, if you will, or at least a similar enough goal that we could say we have the same goal. The most effective, fast-changing way for this cancer in our country or our world, because what's going on in the United States is a big picture of what's going on in every country everywhere. What's going on in the United States has been going on in the United States quietly for a long, long time, but it didn't start 300 years ago. It started 300,000 years ago. But we start with the same goal. So what I did is I made up a goal that I use now. I'm using it in every one of my courses, classes, because we don't need 20 goals. We need one. So for example, the goal is I am participating in a unified collective, weaving a world in which energies, policies, structures, systems with values of all good have manifested to bring benefit to all life forms. Affirmation, I call it reality declaration. So we want cancer ended. Okay, then cancer's ended. This is what we want for our world. Okay, then we have a similar goal. You could put it into your own words. It'll mean the same, but you know you're not alone. Then understand that in the game we volunteered to be here, the game we volunteered for on this planet wasn't to learn our lesson so we don't have to reincarnate again. That's not what we're here to do. We're not here to obey and obey so well that we get to go to heaven when we die. That's not the game. That's truly bullshit. Our game as a soul in a female body is I sense that which is good and that which is not good. I sense which expands and that which is constricts. I sense. And what have we been told as women? You're too sensitive. Disconnect ourselves from our gift, right? I am sensitive and I can tell the difference. And I can tell an energy that's off, and I can tell an energy that's going to be encouraging. I've heard it from some of you today when you saw each other and you go like, woohoo! You can sense it. You have not, up until 2011, had a way to make that decision powerful enough to make a difference. You just had to swirl in it, confusion, fight, anger, because you didn't have the clarity of what I call Sophia. You do now. I'm in a female body. I sense what is expanding, what is constricting. I know how to birth the world, my world. I can do that. And I have the authority to put my staff in the ground and say, this is darn well my space. Whatever the space is, this is my field. It might be your field of home, might be your field of career, it might be your field of the government. And I put my staff in the sky. That is the connection cord. It isn't a fight. It's a connection cord. PTO, I'm down here. And I'm telling you, there's something in that field over there that I'll call, let's say, Social Security in the United States. Something in Social Security field is not of the light. It is causing confusion, constriction, fear, anger, and it does not and cannot remain. Because why? I so declare. PTO, find out what's going on and get rid of the energy. Not just get rid of it, move it to extinction. Takes maybe about 20 minutes. Great. Thank you. Is there anything else I need to do, you ask, and to your team? Is there anything else I need to do? Probably they'll say, nah, check back with us. Great. Now it's in their hands. You now have an authority group that can begin to remove, which was our job all along, while you get back to what? Cooking, gardening, doing healing, writing, expanding. Because the thing that has been missing is that authority voice. And so we've tried to expand our joy, tried to expand our love. And I'll tell you, one of the first things they told me, my team told me, love and light will never, never end domination agendas. They have no impact, because domination agenda is a critter of itself. And they had a right to twist, and they did. They are not out of balance. Fear, yes, out of balance. Out of love and fear, yes, that's out of balance. And love can so help that. Kindness can so help that. Joy can so help that. But the dominating energies, as long as they remain in our space, will continue to grow, cause chaos and death. But we are not the same as we were even 10 years ago. So when you consider that, we're dealing with cancer, and the cancer isn't humanity. We've been told humanity is the cancer. No, it's not. Outsiders using and manipulating the bodysuits we call humanity, that's the cancer. And in order for that cancer, outsider energy, to be moved to extinction quickly, because I think we need it done quickly, then know your authority voice, that's first. But then what else do you want to bring to the table? Spending time in nature, telling stories, encouraging teaching, gathering people together to dance and sing and drum. What else do you want to do? That's what brings you joy. And then you have an integrated protocol where we're all doing our part. First of all, to own what we see is not allowed. Deep six it. And then keeping yourself connected to your guidance, which is what you guys do. Is there anything else you need from me in that regard? No. Okay, then what do you do next? You may write, you may sing songs, you may write poetry, you may dance, you may gift, you may do nonprofit, whatever you do. You may march, you may run for office. All of those are important. But if we don't get rid of the outsider energies to extinction, we'll just cycle down into Armageddon again, which we've done many times. So I'm going to take a breath because I want to also point out something. You probably have in your life experience, you've probably listened to documentaries that have talked about the various times that Earth has gone through an Armageddon, right? Where almost everybody was wiped out off the planet. There might be a few left. And then all of a sudden, these amazing cities and structures were in place. You relate to that? You've heard of those things? Nothing happens on this planet without the word of a soul in a physical bodysuit. So Armageddon, yes, happens because outsiders kill off the host and they leave just enough to start it again. So Armageddon has happened. There's been a few humanity beings left. And then all of a sudden, there's these great civilizations. The codes, the words, the visions for those organizations to even become was spoken by someone or some group in physical bodies. UFO type people, and there's some good ones out there, did not come and land here to do those amazing buildings without permission and declaration. You hold such keys. You hold such codes for the next civilization. And we do not have to do Armageddon to bring about the rebuilding of what has been destroyed. So your work might be, I really want to hold the vision and see the glorious and be in that energy. Perfect. Don't forget that if you see anything at any level, PTO deep six it, and then get on with your work. Get on with your work. Now, with that in mind, I'm going to do one more sharing, and then we'll take I know I've talked a lot, but my meeting, my meeting. Okay, so here we go. So my project before the election, even, I knew that my project was going to be helping women wake up in order to move mountains. So I put up this website, and of course, it's become more and more and more important because of the election. But here's the site page for today. There's a place for your contribution and your participation. There is a place for that. We are awake, gathering, and moving mountains. Now, here's things that are already in place. Well, here's some ebooks that kind of talk about stuff that I've shared. But here's some projects already in place. Now, you know, and these are mine. These are not yours because you have some too. So we have a group called Crystal Broadcasters that are monthly, come together, they vision, they get the vision that they're to hold, they put it into some kind of form, and they broadcast it from their altar, from their home into the world. They're doing that. They've been doing that for several years. We have guardian circles and time travelers. Time travelers can go back to, like, let's say, witch hunt time and absolutely change the past. If we don't change that past, it will reoccur. It's not about remembering. We can travel back in time to the killing field. 2 million people heal that place. We can travel back to the Nazi Germany and change that. Time travelers. Resolving agendas to right truths. We know what's not wrong. We know what is. It's kind of like what I just said to you today. What we have that ability to do that. We have groups doing it, and we have a place where those who want to can meet anytime. We meet weekly to just be in a group to do your personal vision. What is it that I can do better in a group? Activating Earth mission. We just talked about. I've been told that 2025 is critical. What we do in energy during 2025 will determine 26, 27, 28 and forward. So I am putting my work not just through Facebook. Facebook's mute point because I'm going to send it through Patreon, Substack. So there's weekly, here's ideas. What's your question? Here's ideas. So that's in place. And then I think meeting monthly as women actively doing things to say, this is my experience. This is what happened. Celebration and encouragement, like it would be something like today, but it would be more like, this is what I'm doing and this is what I've experienced. Our agreements, our goal, you're one of billions. Here's Gaia and Sophia. And so that's my takeaway for you. Know you are a Sophia. Know there is energy available that you've never had before. Earth has never had before. Your mission is to get rid of the outsider energy, period. That is it. What you do beyond it is what brings you joy, how you can weave with the energy. And with that, I'm going to be quiet. I'll let you take a breath. And any lean speech, because we don't have a lot of time, what are you left with, or question and inspiration? my intention, if there, I will hold a meeting like this monthly, not to go over this work again, but as a place where those who are doing their own work and know that we're collaborative. This was what I experienced. Here's my joy as a possibility. Okay, now I'm going to open the.
I have a question.
Go for it.
And I was talking to Tara about this the other day, but I just wanted some clarification real quick. So you're saying like when it's kind of a see something, say something kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so do we need to know what the protocols are, or do we just say it like we were just saying anything else, like, hey, tag PTO, come Scotty blast this, or, or is there something, do we need to be in a certain frame of mind, or how does that work, Sharon?
Start with a reality declaration. Something would be like, I am a presence of my divine family of light on the planet. That information flows through me, and my presence is enough to make the changes for highest good.
Okay.
Move your consciousness into that reality.
Okay.
Anything that's in the way. Grace, clear the magnetic field, the oblongata, the medulla oblongata, the amygdala, the akashic records, the conscious, unconscious, sacred spaces. Get those magnetic fields cleared of all the garbage, because this is the truth now. Causal team, my design team, designed the reality statement, the reality program, literally the codes for the highest expression of my declaration for myself and all to whom I'm connected in love, and anchor those codes in my first dimension, and put the program into the fifth dimension hard drive. Those are, of course, tag processes. So that's where you start. It has nothing to do with I understand it all. We are working right now under time. And if you want to, and so if you understand that the whole process of those various processes, like Deep Six and the PTO team, they've been around and we've tried them and we've worked with them for probably close to 30 years. They have been vetted by many. And so you can just use those commands, but you claim your presence first. You claim first. And then you listen. And if there's something you need to understand or more, then you can email me. But declaration of the word is enough, and your presence is enough.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Marilyn?
Yeah, I identify myself as a sacred activist.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who are looking for a place to bring who you are and what you know and your wisdom, I've been working for a year now in a group called, that is a nationwide group called Braver Angels. And what we have done is brought together, and I don't think it doesn't really work well if it's just one group of white-faced people who think exactly the same way. But it does work when you can bring conservatives in, religious people in, and learn how to listen, how to share your perspective without debate or argument. Anyway, the whole program is online called Braver Angels, and we have started out with about 8 or 9 people a year ago. We're at about 22, which is way too many, in my opinion. And I managed to find about 8 conservatives to come into this group who are very, very Catholic. And the dialogue has been remarkably enlightening for both sides. So I just wanted to offer that if some of you leave here wondering, now what can I do? Where can I go, and how can I bring this into action? Thank you.
Let me just, thank you, Marilyn. So here is another page on that same site, and I call this page the Movers and Shakers. And as you go down here, you'll see some of the same things I've shared. But down here, there's a whole directory of options And Marilyn's work is under in there. You know, there's works from many, many, and I think Braver Angels is in there. If it's not, I should get in there. I know I intended to. So here's a whole bunch of other options. There it is, Braver
There it
Angels.
is. Yeah, yeah.
You see?
Really, really, I highly recommend it.
So it's also on the same site that I'll send you the link to. Leon?
I just want to say that I have been working with you since December. And I just want to say that so many things, despite the fact that I don't quite understand completely the whole this thing, but I have decided to use your processes and your reality statements and processes, and they really work for me. And they don't only work for me; they work very fast for me. I don't know whether sometimes that's why I keep on saying I don't know whether it's coincidence or what, but it's working.
Yeah.
This is all I want to say, that you do not need to understand it completely, but the processes that Sharon has shared in her webpage, but I'm in her course, is really, really, really effective. That's
When
all I wanted to share with the rest of the people here, Sharon.
When I first started to be shown and taught this information, I knew it was important, but I did not know. I just couldn't understand it, but I knew it was important. So I kept with it. So I totally get, you know, like, what? This feels like it's contrary to whatever. It's not really. And what I was also told, you know, I said for each of you to be the presence of light where you're at. I was shown a vision, a waking vision. I was driving actually on Salt Lake to Boise, Idaho, and there were candle lights all over the planet in my vision. So I'm driving and here's these candles of light, and I'm saying, what are you showing me? They said, watch. And the one candle pretty soon became two, and then became three, and then become, you know, so the candles all over the planet began to be more and more and more all over the planet. And then all of a sudden, it was like there was a wax cover between what we at that point I thought heaven, but I call it divine family now. Here's the divine family. Here are all these candles. Like they thought they were the only ones on the planet, but pretty soon there were more and more. And pretty soon this cover, like a wax cover, just went and it was gone. And the light exploded. And they said, when that happens, miracles will occur. And I had no idea about outsiders at that time. I had no idea what I talked to you about at that time. But when I started to learn about the outsiders, they said, when the outsider energies are eradicated, the more they are eradicated, the more the tools you already know will be effective. So the tools will become more effective as the outsiders are eliminated. So when I hear that those, you know, the processes are effective, it also is a clue to me that says the outsiders are being eliminated. Anything else? Thank you, Leanne. Carolyn. So I think I have all of your email addresses. Laura, I don't know that I have yours. So if you want to either take mine or send me yours or put yours in your chat, either my address, because what I want to do is I'm just going to send you the replay of what we, you know, of this class so you can play it if you want to. I know most of us don't have time to do it again, but you never know. And also the link to those websites. And what I want you to know is that there is no one tool that is the magic key. There is no magic key here. If there's one thing that's critical, is the outsider, getting rid of it. Absolutely. That's got to get done for all of our gifts to be the effect that they are. Our gifts were meant to not only do the work of the gift, but to resource us. I have money. I have finances, so I can buy Janet's book. Janet has resources so that she can buy Marilyn's book. Yeah, and I've got Janet's book on the side too. You see, we have money, not so we have a 6-figure income and we go on magic vacations and buy a huge house, and that's bullshit. If you want to do that after you have funded your friends and your communities. Beautiful contributions. Okay. Woohoo! Here we go again. And try, I mean, if you haven't been doing, the deep six, see what it adds to lessening any burden you feel in your life. See what it does to, 10 minutes every other day. I do this huge activist work. Others are marching. I don't have the energy to do that anymore. Others are running for office. I don't have the energy to do that anymore. I can sit in my grandmother state and call for clearing, and then see what it is I'm next told to do. And truthfully, what's really important, I think at this stage, that's still important. But at this stage, I believe, and what I'm sensing, it's coming together in community. What does your community need? What do you want to do? I have 2 daughters that have passed on, and one of the things I've in process of thinking of, what would I want to do as a project to honor them and to make the difference that they would have loved to see in the world. It's that kind of thinking. Okay. Okay, love you all. And until we meet again, because we'll meet around the corner many times, I think. Lots of love. Bye.
Love you, Sharon. Thank you as
Love.
always.
Thank you, love.